Are you struggling to navigate today's economic storm? We all are in some way, right? Inflation, market volatility, constant change, central banks going crazy. It seems to be the new normal. But what if there were clear steps that you could take right now to protect your business and your personal finances? Today, I'm sharing proven strategies from my experience as a hedge fund manager that businesses and individuals alike can use to not just survive, but to thrive in uncertain times. Make money while blood is in the streets, or when the sun shines. Both, actually. But here's the thing. Global economies are experiencing radical shifts at the moment at rapid pace, from inflation to market instability at times, right? And crazy volatility as well. So for both business owners and individuals, this uncertainty can create fear and also indecision. And you know, the worst thing is that you don't do anything. You need to assess your risk and move, do the right thing, right? And from my many years of managing billions in capital and transactions, one thing is clear. While the future may always be uncertain, there are ways to prepare and to adapt. And that's very crucial and important that you are A, in understanding of that, and B, have the ability to act on it as well. So in this video, I'll share 7 key strategies that you can implement today to not only safeguard your assets, but also seize opportunities in challenging times. So you should diversify your income streams. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, whether it's in business or even personal finances. Diversification reduces risk, and it also builds resilience. So Warren Buffett said, if you want to become rich, you need concentration. But if you want to stay rich, you need to diversify. And that's really important also for your income sources, you know? So if you only have one income source, especially, for example, if you're just in a job relationship, if you lose that job, you're literally one step away to be a bum on the street. So that's really, really dangerous. And if you don't possess a skill set that you can make money with otherwise, or you have another business that can generate some cash flow, or assets that produce cash flow, then you have a big problem. And this is why you need to start thinking of ways, how can you add secondary revenue streams, side businesses, or diversified investments, or skill sets like trading is one. The second thing you should look at is inflation hedge investments. So look, inflation is eating away the value of money. It's like a battery that is losing charge every single day. Don't kid yourself. The dollar lost 50% of value just in our lifetime. 50%. We lost half of our wealth. All what our grandfathers and fathers did is only worth half of it today because of inflation. So you need to think outside that box. Look at other investments like commodities, real estate, or, in my opinion, actually the best commodity and real estate, which is digital, which is Bitcoin. It's a different conversation. In any case, you should look at things that give you a buffer regarding inflation. Okay? And this is exactly what hedge funds do as well. They manage their risk. If they kept everything in cash, they would also be losing 50%. And you need to have investments that at the very least beat inflation, and then you are at zero. You haven't made money. If you're making not at least the average of the S&P in a year, you're essentially losing money. And if you're making the average of the S&P, that's literally only making up for inflation. So you got to beat the S&P in order to start making money, not lose money. So that's why hedge funds aim for higher profits than that. They still do it in a very risk-adjusted way, and they also, spread their risk so they don't have just very concentrated risks, because if they go south, then obviously they would have a big problem. Since they manage other people's money, they need to have a proper structure where they cannot just risk it all, bet the farm on it, as we say. So what you need is to understand what are inflation-proof methods, assets, strategies, markets that you can actually get engaged in. Look for opportunities where you can incorporate inflation hedging instruments, into your investment strategy. If you don't understand that, then you will lose money. The next point is you need to manage your debt strategically. Look, in uncertain times, it's critical to reduce high interest debt. Bad debt while leveraging lower interest, growing, enabling debt. So restructuring debt help businesses and individuals grow even when the economy struggles. So you need to be attentive to interest rates and how you could actually restructure your debt. Or let's also be sure to understand when should we take on debt and when should we reduce our debt burden. When can we use cheap debt as a great leverage to grow faster, and when should we reduce our debt exposure so that it doesn't suffocate our cash flow, right? So make sure that you review your debt situation correctly and you adjust it based on interest rates and market conditions. And as much as it seems to be a hated thing, you gotta keep cash. You gotta have capital, liquidity for flexibility. Look, if you don't have a strong cash flow, or having reserves that allow you to act quickly in times of uncertainty, with opportunities or even emergencies, then how are you going to make good decisions when you need to make them? You got to have some powder dry, ready to engage with when it's needed. If you don't have capital to invest when the market is strongly dropping and then actually collect great assets, quality assets at a cheap price when there's blood in the streets, how else are you going to do it? Or if you are taking on, certain debt that you need to service the interest rates on and you don't have a cash flow to do that, how are you going to do that? This is how MicroStrategy does its fantastic money glitch strategy, where they actually use their software business income to pay for the debt on the loans that they're getting for really cheap money to accumulate a ton of Bitcoin, and it's extremely successful. You could mirror that type of strategy too, for example. But you got to have liquidity. You don't have a cash flow, you don't have liquidity, don't even bother thinking about engaging in a market. Another often overlooked point is that you got to focus on efficiency and you have to cut your costs. You cannot cut your costs into becoming rich. Obviously, you need to work on your income more than on reducing your costs. But nonetheless, in economic uncertain times, efficiency is absolutely required. Look, guys, I'm German. What can I say? Efficiency is my second first name. So for businesses, it means you have to reduce waste. For individuals, it means you got to cut unnecessary spending. There's tons of things you're paying every month money for that are useless. Why are you keeping them exactly, right? Imagine taking that money and invest it into a great asset over time, over a long period. Much better. So, instead of paying for Netflix, or look, I don't want to shame Netflix here, or whatever you're paying the money for, take that money and buy stocks or buy Bitcoin. I guarantee you, in 20 years from now, you will have a much better result than spending that money on that shit. So you better conduct an audit of your expenses and you focus on boosting efficiency in your operations and your personal spending. It's not even that big of a deal. I do it all the time. You see this fancy lifestyle that I live, but I engineer my costs to a degree you would not even understand. I could do a separate video about that. How I'm having all these cars at an absolute minimum cost, for example. Or, it's just the way you think. How you do one thing is how you do everything. I will never just waste money because I can. Never. And you should do the same. The next point is extremely important and completely overlooked in terms of what value it gives you. You need to invest in future-proof skills. Look, it's an evolving economy that we live in, and the ability to adapt is invaluable. You have to learn new skills. Whether it's personal growth or even business success, you have to prepare for future opportunities. If you don't do that, there's a German saying, I don't know if you can say it in English like that, but he who does not go with time goes with time. You know what I mean? So it means if you don't go with the times, you will just leave. Time will go over you. You understand? So that's why it's extremely important that you don't forget about the only way to go with time is to have future-proof skills and a continuous learning process. And that's what I learned in my time in the investment bank, in the hedge fund, is to really understand what is coming next. The market is always pricing in the future. It's not pricing in the here and now. So the way you think is forward-looking. You're trying to understand what is coming, when, to what degree, and you're really always, okay, how can I understand it? How can I get in front of it? How can I take advantage of it? And that kind of mindset, if you approach basically anything you do like that, you will understand how important it is that you acquire the skills that are future-proof, that help you to just stay on top of things and literally even enjoy yourself in life, because it's exciting, Always learn new things that are actually very hot right now. And as you know that you are capable and that you are actually able to steer your own ship in a way like most people are not, that gives you so much satisfaction, and you respect yourself and are happy about yourself and the results reflected back. So give me one good reason not to do it. And that's exactly what I learned in the professional financial industry. The next point is volatile markets are opportunities. Even if most people are afraid of volatility, they should be your friend. Yes, they are dangerous and they are treacherous and you can burn yourself easily. However, volatile markets offer opportunities for those who are prepared. So, for example, I have an options trading strategy where I sell volatility and I'm hedging against the downside in case, the market drops further and volatility spikes up. But in trading, there are so many opportunities and possibilities that come with volatility, market swings, VIX spikes, all of these beautiful things that you can capture if you understand what you're doing and make a ton of money while everybody else is just sitting on their stocks like a passive idiot is just losing out. Again, if you think anything passive is going to make you win over the ones that are active, I beg to differ. So as a hedge fund manager, I learned that volatility leads to the best trades, in fact. The greatest opportunities, the best trade setups, the biggest profits in the shortest amount of time happen exactly then and there. So within that chaos are the biggest opportunities, but only for those who are able to handle the storm correctly. And you could be one of those. It's literally not that difficult, but it's not common public knowledge. So again, invest into your skills and you will be one of those that benefits massively. Generational wealth usually happens in the most concentrated time periods. So don't be afraid of uncertainty. Don't be afraid of volatility. And one of the best ways to navigate uncertainty is, having a solid strategy in place, having the right education in place. And this is where trading can provide a powerful advantage like no other industry can, no other skill set can. Learning to trade is not just about short-term gains and sort of gambling type of stuff. Absolutely not. It's about developing a killer skill set that allows you to create wealth and to adapt to any market condition and really, grow through your own ability and grow massive amounts of wealth while most everybody else is actually struggling. And if you want to learn how to trade like a hedge fund manager does, I invite you to check out the description under this video for more information. And if you like this video, please share and subscribe. It really helps with the algorithm, and I'll see you in the next video.